This film has been prepared by the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Directorate General of Research and Training, in terms of national vocational standards with the purpose of developing vocational knowledge and skills and contributing to the improvement of the service quality of the employees working at the front office section of accommodation and food and beverage facilities in the tourism sector. Image is not only appearance, it is who you are, how you want to be recognized. You reflect yourself to your environment with your image. The front office is regarded as the image of accommodation facilities. It keeps the communication process alive with the guests by dominating the lobby, the entrances and exits, the elevators and the stairs. The front office, where the accounts and records are kept, the consulting services given, the reservation processes are done, and where complaints and comments are taken into consideration, undoubtedly should make a good impression on guests who receive the accommodation service. Each guest who leaves with satisfaction means a new guest. Now let's take a closer look at the front office. As a front office employee, we are in one-on-one communication with guests. Due to being the unit that first welcomes the guests and introduces the facility, we should attach more importance to our appearance and maintenance as front office employees. We shouldn't skip over any detail regarding our personal care and hygiene. Well-kept hands and nails, regularly brushed teeth, clean hair, ironed and clean clothes, and a soft perfume are basic rules regarding our hygiene and care. We should put our name and badge on the left side of our chest as part of our clothing. We should make sure not to have any jewelry except a wedding ring and a watch, and we should avoid heavy makeup. Clean and polished shoes are another detail that complete our appearance. Additionally, we should certainly keep reserve clothing or an extra uniform just in case. In order to determine the basics of national qualifications of technical and vocational standards, and to contribute to the activities regarding certification, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism has prepared the National Vocational Standards of Tourism, Accommodation, and Food and Beverage Services based on national and international vocational standards as a result of cooperation with the tourism sector. At the front office, there are differences in title, task, and hierarchy. First of all, let's take a look at the job definitions of these departments' employees. The fifth level, Front Office Manager, also called as the Assistant Front Office Manager or the Front Office Chief. The fourth level, Reception Officer, also called as the Receptionist. The third level, Hotel Reservation Officer. The third level, Hotel Switchboard Operator, also called as the telephone operator. The second level, doorkeeper, also called as the doorman. The second level, luggage attendant, also called as the bellboy. The front office should give an effective service with its many staff. The front office manager is responsible for providing services of the front office accurately and on time. The front office manager, who has authority to sign, is also responsible for preparing the performance report, the hotel's annual forecast and commercial plan, as well as directing the works of employees. The front office chief is the person who has the knowledge and ability to plan and coordinate the services of the front office, reservation, the door luggage services, and the hotel switchboard services at accommodation facilities, to organize room services, to provide the proper presentation of services by inspecting and directing his subordinates in terms of the duties and responsibilities he gave, and by finding solutions for guest comments and complaints. accommodation facilities, the reception officer is responsible for daily room procedures and the arrival-departure services. In cases when the attendants are not present, he receives the reservations, performs the switchboard services, fulfills daily cash and night reporting activities, informs the guest regarding activities at and outside the hotel, and, of course, he also has to take care of guest comments and complaints. The hotel reservation officer is the person who has the knowledge and skills necessary to make reservations, to record the activities of the accommodation facilities, and to inform guests of hotel activities and services. The department which the guests are directed to before they come to the facility is the reservation department. At the reservation department, guests are informed about the room properties and pricing. During the telephone reservation process, the following details should be documented and should be logged into the system by the reservation officer. Payment details, name, surname, and contact information of the person who makes the reservation, room type, reservation date, the number of days reserved, the type of accommodation, and items that are included in the price. The reservation officer who performs all of these operations coordinates with the front office staff and should thus definitely have good communication skills. He or she should follow the reservation operations carefully, should prepare statistical reports regarding operations, should prepare annual, monthly, weekly forecasts and send them to the related departments. The doorman is the person who has the knowledge and skill required to welcome and to guide the guests who come for accommodation or for other reasons, to fulfill the taxi needs of the guests, to open the car doors of guests who come with their cars, and to arrange the vehicle traffic at the front of the hotel. A competent doorman should have good knowledge of location and direction regarding the hotel and the surrounding area, and should be able to direct the guest when necessary. At the accommodation facilities, greeting guests, carrying luggage, taking guests to their rooms, providing information about the facility and the services, delivering the posts, consultation and taking care of guest vehicles are all the tasks of the bellboy. After greeting guests, the bellboy should accompany the guests to the reception. In the accommodation facilities, the person who organizes the welcoming and the send-off, luggage handling, placing guests into the rooms, and transferring the posting operations, who fulfills the consulting operations, who has the knowledge and skills to manage his inferiors, and who knows a foreign language is the bell captain. A competent bell captain organizes the employees who work at the concierge. Among the bell captain's tasks are protecting the guests' luggages temporarily, solving the requests of the guests regarding transportation, and being responsible for the cleaning and order of the hotel entrance, lobby, and the luggage room. The switchboard is the place where communication occurs between guests and employees. The switchboard operator is the person who has the knowledge and the skill to organize the internal and external communication rapidly and effectively, to receive messages, to provide transfers to related people, and to make announcements when necessary. The telephone is the mirror through which other people see you, and every guest you talk with on the telephone is valuable and deserves care The telephone should be answered, and a personal introduction and an introduction of the facility should be given using a natural voice tone.
Pınar, ben nasıl yardımcı olabilirim?
We should address guests with courtesy, with an expression such as, "How may I help you?" while using his or her name. As the switchboard operator, we should be prepared at any moment to take a message correctly for guests who do not want to be disturbed or who are not in their rooms. While we are taking the message, we should avoid unnecessary repetitions. We should absolutely note the message form as to whom the message should go to, the time, and the date of the note, and we should deliver the message to the related person as soon as possible. Waking up the guests who would like to be awakened on time is among our duties.
Uyandırma servisi saat 7:30.
In addition, we are also responsible for the cleaning and order of the switchboard. A well-qualified facility is a facility that provides guest satisfaction. The front officer is important as he or she is the first person who communicates with guests. Here, our guest has arrived. We should pay attention to the guest immediately with a warm smile and politeness. We should listen to the guest, make eye contact, and make him or her feel special by calling him or her by their name. Yet, we should avoid unnecessary sincerity. We should be careful about his or her requests regarding room choice and shouldn't say their room number loudly. Guests whose privacy is respected have confidence in the facility. We should be polite, good-humored, have persuasive skills, and we should be a good listener. Also, taking responsibility and being practical and compatible with the staff are primary behaviors we should have in order to carry on business. In addition, a good front officer should also have first aid information. We should avoid behaviors that might disturb the guest, such as exhibiting too much attention, touching the guest without a reason, putting hands into your pockets, responding with your head, playing with your pen, keeping your hands under or on your belt, or crossing your arms. We should also stay calm by offering solutions, should apologize when necessary, and shouldn't use negative or insulting expressions. We shouldn't forget that guests are not dependent on us. We are dependent on them, so we should avoid undesirable behaviors. The guests who use the lobby are our audience at the same time. We should be careful of our position and behavior at all times. The front office is the department where you constantly communicate and share information directly with other departments while receiving support from them in terms of guest requests and demands. Thus, it is good communication that ensures the front office and other departments work in continuous coordination. A good front officer should know the working hours of other departments. In case of any guest health problem, he or she should immediately communicate with the hotel doctor or, in accordance with the instruction of his or her superior, with the nearest healthcare facility. The daily reports and the invoices of the accounts on credit should be delivered from the front office to the accounting department, including all correspondence and documents. Our communication with housekeeping is more than with the other departments. We should always be in touch with housekeeping regarding the guest room change operations, early arrival and late departure rooms, and housekeeping reports. Contacting technical service in regards to problems such as room malfunctions, providing daily information to the restaurant, providing information about animation activities and times, filing missing material requests with the purchase department, being in possession of information regarding company agreements regarding sales and marketing, and paying as much attention as possible to briefings which are to be written are all tasks that a front officer should perform in order to ensure that the communication between the front office and other departments runs effectively. should take care to make our guests comfortable. At the accommodation facilities, the frequently encountered room types are classified into two. The first, according to the bed characteristics: single room, double room, triple room, quad room, queen room, king room. The second, according to the physical structure: connecting room, adjoining room, suite room, apart room, handicapped room. When our guest arrives, we should be able to know the details regarding room sales. With a smiling face and proper expressions, we should inform our guest about the room features. During the guest check-in operations, we should check our daily reservation list. If the room is booked, we should determine the booked room number. If not, we should present the proper room that the guest requires. We might make a positive contribution to guest satisfaction by offering a room with a pleasant view to the guests who come to visit the city, and a quiet room to the guests who come for business trips. We shouldn't forget that in regards to guest registration operations, the accommodation document is an agreement among the guests and the facility. It should definitely be filled for each room. Information regarding the address, identity information based on the guest's identity, the room price, the room number, arrival date, departure date, and the payment type should be filled and be signed by the guest. And then the information regarding the guest should be completely registered into the system. After the registration operations have been completed, it is the duty of a bellboy to carry the guest's luggages and bring them to his or her room, to check the room, and after placing them, inform guests about the technical specifications of the room. A competent bellboy should inform guests about the facility's services before reaching the room.
Bellboy.
While entering the room, we should knock the door 3 times and state ourselves as the bellboy. We should control the availability of the room by keeping the door half open. If the room is available, we should wait for the guest to enter the room first, and after he or she enters the room, we should inform the guest about the room specifications. After learning whether our guest has a request or not, we should leave the room by telling him or her to have a nice stay politely. During the shift handover at the reception, we should take over the cash balance. We should read the logbook and also tell verbally the activities of the previous shift. We should check the daily reservations made or expected and the information and documents regarding accommodation. In addition, preparing the checkout list, auditing the housekeeper report, passing and taking over the shift after examining the booked rooms, and the daily memorandums are among our duties. Also, complete your end-of-day operations without any problem by performing your duties such as receiving daily reports on night shifts, sending police reports, checking the rooms and keys, and carrying out the wake-up calls. When making checkout procedures of our guests, we should first find out the room number, his or her name, and the method of their payment. Afterwards, we should check the bill, request the payment politely, if necessary, as well as the room key or the card. With cash payments, we shouldn't accept worn or destroyed banknotes. If necessary, we must check the banknote with a light control system. In regards to payments made with foreign currency, we should first control whether the banknote is in circulation or not. We should accept the foreign currency after putting them through the necessary control devices. In regards to currency change procedures, we should inform the customer about the commission of the facility, if there is any. We must absolutely prepare a currency exchange document and give a copy to the guest. On payments made with a credit card, we should enter the amount to be paid in the machine and ask the guest politely to enter his or her PIN number. After receiving and controlling the invoice information, we shouldn't forget to sign the invoice. We might ask our guest to fill out a questionnaire in order to learn whether he or she was satisfied with our facility or not, as well as his or her suggestions and demands, if there are any. We should send off the guest by using kind words, such as, "We would be glad to host you again." We should be prepared for the groups that come to the facility. The bellboy and the doorman must make their preparations before the group arrives. The doorman should determine the place where the vehicles will park, and the bellboy should prepare the stickers according to the group list he will have taken from the reception. He should also allocate a location in order to place the luggage in the lobby. When the group arrives, the bellboy removes the luggage from the vehicle and makes it available to be transferred to the previously determined location. He performs the checking and counting procedures of the luggage. He takes necessary notes. He attaches stickers onto the luggage, and he performs the luggage distribution according to the room numbers. For the group booking, we should pay attention to the final name list sent by the agency. For each group member, we should prepare a group envelope, and we should inform the related departments. We should be careful to give the same type of rooms for every guest in the group. For accommodation, if there is any, we might perform the group procedures at a separate counter, one other than the reception desk. In group check-in procedures, we should compare the group leaders list and the reservation list. If there are any, we should rearrange the changes. For each room, we must fill out the registration card. We should obtain the guest passport or identity information and enter it into the system. We should put room keys or cards in the envelopes that will have been prepared separately and give them to the guide to be distributed to the guest or the group. We should obtain information from the group leader regarding the dinner, wake-up call, and departure times. In group checkout procedures, we should learn the necessary wake-up services, luggage admissions, and the departure times the day before. After the wake-up services, at the luggage admission time, the bellboys collect the luggage of the group from the floors according to the list they have and bring them to the previously allocated location in the lobby. They check for missing or excess luggage by counting them. During the checkout procedure, we should collect the room keys. We should make final controls regarding the group's departure, and, if necessary, we should request support from the group leader in order to close the accounts of the guests who have extra payments. We should get our voucher that should be received regarding the group from the group leader or the guide, and we should send off our guests in a good-humored and respectful manner. When the group bus comes to the main door, the bellboy places the luggage in a healthy and correct way and sends off the guests in a good-humored manner. Acquiring new customers is a difficult and costly process for the facility. Every guest who leaves satisfied is the most important factor in increasing the facility's guest, revenue, and profit growth. In the accommodation process, from the guest's arrival to his or her departure, paying attention to the guest and assisting him or her is one of the main tasks of the front office. With this task, a good front officer provides added value to the facility. Do not forget, with every guest who is satisfied with the facility, publicity increases by word of mouth. When everybody talks about your quality and talks about your characteristics, that is undoubtedly the most effective publicity. A qualified service is more than what it seems. It comes back to you as more confidence. Your job is your image.